So I've just walked from my digs down on the Seine. Nice slow stroll. Walked around the tower, waiting to go on one of these lunchtime cruises. I just felt, as I was walking around the tower, first time since I've been here, fairly threatened that I could be jostled or something by somebody, and somebody else just take my valuables, and that would be that, and be absolutely nothing you could do about it. Anyway, today, tonight's my last night in Paris. I got a wake-up call. I got an email from the Saint-Malo hire car place, because I'm going to go by train from Paris to Saint-Malo. And he said, "Oh, your car's due for you for not tomorrow, but the next day." I thought, shit. Didn't think I was going. So I checked, and sure enough, I'm getting my accommodation finishes here in Paris tomorrow morning and not Wednesday morning. So luckily I got that email from the car, because it made me check all my reservations. And then I've got myself checked into an open mic tonight, but the email came through, said effectively, this is good professionals. You might be lucky if you get a gig, so I don't even know whether I want to go and try to join in with good professionals. We shall see. I've got a lunchtime cruise during which time I plan to have a red wine or beer or two whilst I'm on the boat, and then see what happens after the afternoon nap. Well, this is all rather nice. I tried to book for this yesterday, couldn't get a ticket, and for some reason it all just went through today. Yesterday I had issues with the visa in Australia, and saying they were going to send me a text message so I could confirm. Well, I don't have my Australian SIM card working, or French card working, so couldn't do it. Tried a different way through PayPal about 3 times. It rejected it this morning. All happy. And I'll show you around the boat. And so we are off. My mind works in grasshopper ways, as my father used to describe himself. Bateau mouche. Bateau mouche. Do they do the Fandango? So while I'm trying to make sure by translation that it's a white or a red, I've got a whole bottle to myself, because I'm the only one here on these 2 tables. Because it's normally 1 bottle included for every 4 people as part of the ticket price. So I chose the red, even though I'm having the fish to start with, because I've got the beef coming next, and then some cheese. And I shall quite gently work my way through that red. I'm starting to feel like I'm in France again. I've walked around Paris every day since I've been here for somewhere between 3 and 6 hours. And today I walked an hour to get down to where the boat was moored. But I tell you what, cruising up the river with a nice lunch sure the hell beats the shit out of walking. So as I come to the Ile de Paris, all I can think of is the Vikings and the story there. And again, this shit's all over walking. Merci bien. Yeah, très bon. And the Pont Neuf is like sort of one of those things. I'm just going to let this run a bit, having a nice chat. Obviously my French is not that great, but I seem to manage to get by. Under the Pont Neuf, it's sort of iconic for me for some reason. Is there a song about it, or And of course I walked all through here more than once and went on the big bus. Didn't bother videoing it much. It's all been done before. But I've had a glass of sparkling red, which to be honest was pretty shit. Because it had been poured in the typical waiter's way where they just put the glass there. I've watched them pouring others, put the glass there and just pour it straight down and make sure it loses any bubbles whatsoever, and then let it stand there until it gets warm anyway. So that was shit. But I've had a beer, which I'm going to pay for at some stage. It's not included, but the wine is, and I've got a whole bottle of wine myself. There it is, working on it. And I'm going to keep going until we get to Notre Dame. Because it's going to be a different angle. And actually I'll stop and put it back on then. And so we come up to what I think is, well, it's not just me I suppose, but for me it's a symbol of everything that's great about this sort of architecture. And 18 years ago this Christmas, we were actually here, that is me, Andrew and Nicholas were here on Christmas Eve. We went in there was a very small queue, and it was before the fire, and the nativity scene was there, and one of the boys, I think it was Nicholas, said about the manger, but there's no baby Jesus. And of course, as tradition demands, they were putting the figures there as they arrived, and they had not yet put baby Jesus in because it was Christmas Eve, not Christmas Day. Because now it's been burnt down. And the news was announced today that the seniors of the church have approved changes to the inside, even though it's only the roof and towers and not the inside that were destroyed by fire. They've approved changes. They really need some sort of Adrian Shackley here. If you imagine St George's Church in Churchill and Gawler had a fire in it, there's no way that we in Australia, and I'd be on his side, would let anything else other than original restoration take place. So I'm sort of not happy about that. I'm also not happy about the fact that people that built it handed over Joan of Arc from the French to the British churches. They were bastards in those days. And of course, the person who burned it down was a bastard of a different imaginary supernatural best friend. And as humans, we crave greenery, don't we? Here they are in the middle of Paris. They plant trees on their roof. And I'm guessing it's not much fun sleeping on the banks of the Seine in the middle of winter. Thinking about the guy who does cruising the cut about canal boats in the UK. He should bring his canal boat over the channel. He could go up there. And here we turn. I'm not sure where we are, but I'm pretty sure we've come up much further upstream than the map shows. We're not just upstream from the Ile de Paris for sure. And I think that must be because the river is flowing so bloody fast that unless we went upstream a fair way, we'd be back too early and wouldn't have time to eat. Anyway, I'll look it up later for my own pleasure about where we were before we turned around like this. In the meantime, I'm eating this, which is I love the Nouvelle Cuisine small beef
that has been slow cooked in red wine. And I like the size. I like to be able to have that haddock entree and the beef without feeling bloated. And I'm going to have a cheese platter for dessert as well. And somebody approved this.
Now there's a view of the cathedral that I've not seen before. So this is the junction of the river. It's Ile de Paris, Ile de la City on the right, and then Ile Saint-Louis on the left. And we stopped here, and I didn't know why, but I think it must be, there's a big bloody bargey thing coming up the other way, so I think we're reversing to wait for it to come past. You can not see it yet. So we're still stationary, but not for very long, 30 seconds or a minute. This is obviously a big boat for the river. Not much room for us here. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a fun guy. Continue with the theme. Everywhere you go in France, well, it's not true, is it? Almost everywhere you go in Paris. Now I know I said I wasn't into the Eiffel Tower that much. But coming here under my favourite bridge, having some cheese and a red wine, and with the Eiffel Tower disappearing into the sky, that's not a bad shot. Okay, well I am in Paris, and I did walk around it. And I tell you what, they ought to get hose onto painting it, because it's rusty as hell. And here she comes. Or should I ask her what her pronouns are before I say she? It's only a bloody bit. Not a bad effort that, getting a tree that size to grow out the bow of your boat. Just check the speed of this river out. It's going to be a really quick trip when I come back from St. Malo and get on the boat around about here to head down to Honfleur. I reckon they'll have the motor in reverse. And so I'm going to close this video on my day trip up with it